Hello everyone, just wanted to say hi and welcome to COM 504. I realized we got off to a little bit of a bumpy start with a couple things. One thing that surprised us actually was the large number of students. We ended up with about 40 in COM 504 and we were expecting about 15. That explains why the bookstore was caught off guard and had didn't have everything everybody needed. Some of you are a little anxious about that. Don't worry about it. I'm about the most laid-back professor you'll ever have, and I understand complications like that. Certainly, when you get the book, catch up on the postings related to the books. But let's just forge ahead, be involved in conversation, be involved in community. Let's be trying to sort this thing out and understand communication theory and how it reflects our worldview. You know, I did mention in an announcement that I was saddened by the fact that the Blamires book continues to be out of print and difficult to get, which is one of the reasons why we moved to the Dankman book. And I think that's going to be very practical and useful to you. But the Blamires book used to do the heavy lifting on the Christian communication worldview stuff. And it wasn't even really a book about communication. It was about the fact that as Christians, we have a way of thinking about things that accounts for certain presuppositions, certain fundamental notions about the reality of evil, the importance of the supernatural, and these affect the way that we look at things. Well, actually, the things that people believe in affects their perception, their understanding, their ability to use or create any communication theory, really. And so, as Christian University, obviously, we're going to take a little bit of time to look at that issue, and the Schultz book does that for us. I think you'll enjoy both the other books, and I'm looking forward to you sort of having a grounding in all the major theoretical approaches that represent our discipline. But you know, it's kind of a messy discipline in a way. We got the you know, you see the two paradigms or schools represented already in the history and in Schultz's conversation. You'll see the same thing as you get into Griffin. And I'm sure about the idea that we have sort of a social science tradition, and we also have a tradition that is kind of more rooted historically in the humanities, and these things are kind of in opposition to each other, and yet at the same time I think they often force us to consider all the different aspects of communication. I do have two favorite quotes about communication theory. One of them is by Kurt Lewin, who said, "There's nothing as practical as a good theory." And sometimes we think about theory as, well, you know, that's not really important, it's just a theory kind of thing. That's actually not what's going on here at all. These are very practical ideas about communication as it relates to our life and to our work and to our relationships. I hope that it turns out to be pretty practical for you. I hope that it helps bring some light to bear on interpersonal issues and work-related issues and communication issues, mass media, all these different things. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll look forward to that journey together. The other quote I like is actually Schultz's quote in the Communicating for Life text, where he says that the best communication theory sometimes resembles theology and sounds like a search for shalom. That's an interesting idea. And again, as I've mentioned, all of our theories and all of our understanding of the theories and all of the understanding of the theories by the people who created the theories is a reflection at some level of what they believe is important, what they value. And so as we approach that, we can sift through it, sort it out, find the good, the bad, the ugly, and be more thoughtful and more effective in our use of communication as a tool for, as Schultz would argue, a matter of stewardship, creating a better world, and taking it and using it to take the things that we care about, the meaning we have, and to make that the focus of our endeavors. I did have a chance actually to talk to Quentin Schultz, the author of the Communicating for Life book, just last week. And I asked him, it's several years old, and I asked him if he did it again, what would be some things he would change, what would be some different ways in which he's come to understand the issues. And he had two observations. One of them was that he says he would have used the term sub-creator rather than co-creator. And I find that something worth thinking about. What does it mean to be a sub-creator of Shalom? And it says something, I think, probably about his theological perspective from the Reformed tradition, but of course it says something about just the confidence that we all have that God's in control and that we are his servants. The second thing he said, that he would focus more on the book than he did if he did again. He said he actually had a number of readers and advisors who had him take this out, but he's become more and more convinced that communication is intentional, and that intentionality is an aspect of it that is required before we call it communication or call it something that we would study. Just as a practical example, he would say if I put on a red tie in the morning and I'm doing it because I want it to represent certain things, or I want to represent myself in certain ways, that's certainly nonverbal communication, and if it does that, that's cool, we can study that because I had intention. On the other hand, if I didn't even think about putting on a red tie, but I did put on a red tie, and you thought about me in a certain way because I was wearing a red tie, well, he's not so sure that that's something in the field. Certainly nonverbal people would argue about that, but I'm not talking about people that are nonverbal or nonverbal, but I'm talking about nonverbal scholars. But I'll let you sort that out yourself as you sort of try to define communication and make sense of it as we do our reading. Finally, I want to welcome Brad Lettner and Diane Proctor, who will be helping us with the discussion groups. When showed up with 40 students in 2 sections of communication theory, and I was in the middle of a major revision of our undergraduate curriculum, and a lot of other things going on. I just had a real sense of needing help, and I'm glad that they're available. You'll find them thoughtful, engaging. I'm going to give them some opportunities to actually raise some of the questions rather than some of the questions I thought of. I imagine that they can think of better questions, and certainly I hope you'll ask questions too. But all of us together on this journey will find that this is a very fulfilling course. Again, welcome. Look forward to spending more time with you. I'm hoping to do a few more of these podcasts as we go along, particularly as we deal with areas that I have maybe some special background or concerns or insight into. Anyway, thanks again. Have a great week. Look forward to reading your conversations online, and please email me or call if you have any questions.